What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Professor Pete, man. We here with A1 Hollywood, and we got a special guest today, man. Donnie Houston, the legend. He from our city, man. He out here doing his thing. This is Classroom Concerts presents Black in Business, man. We appreciate you coming out, Donnie, man. How you doing today?
I'm chilling, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Sir. Yeah. So, man, we know that you have your own podcast platform, YouTube platform. So can you just explain to people what exactly do you say that you do? Like, we know we see what you do, but what do you say that you do?
Well, I mean, I'm a DJ first, you know what I'm saying, and a music producer second, and journalist after that, you know what I'm saying, which includes, you know, the podcast or whatever. But yeah, you know, DJ, producer, journalist, you know. I ain't came up with a name. I might have to, because it don't really sound cool when you say it like that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I ain't figured it out. Yeah, it sounds cool. But yeah, you know, producer, journalist, man.
DJ, producer, journalist, bro. And so which one came first?
Oh, it's everything in that order.
Everything in that. So DJ first, producer after that, and then you went into the journalist side. And okay, like, knowing you came from the DJ side, how did that transition? I can see the producer side, but how did that transition happen to actually journalist, media side?
Man, that happened going to college, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that happened on an accident. Not going to college. I know I wanted to go to college. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to college. That's what I just knew from my older sister or whatever. That's what I saw. But as far as like what I'm a major in, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't had nobody was around me to guide me in that way, like in my life. You know what I'm saying? If they were, I probably was too young and like, you know, rebellious to want to hear that, you know what I'm saying, at the time. So when I was, you know, 17, graduating high school and shit, I was like, all right, I got to go to college. What I'm a major in, you know what I'm saying? And my boy, he was, my boy, man, Jay Brown, man, rest in peace, man. His old man always worked for Channel 13, you know what I'm saying? So he had inspirations of like, kind of doing the same thing, you feel me? Going in that direction. So he like, man, I'm finna go Sam Houston. I'm a major in radio and television. I'm like, all right, well, you know, how much math does it have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One algebra class, all right, bet, sign me up. You know? That's how I got into it. Now I get into it and I start learning about well, for one, I just was naturally like always good at like English and like writing and stuff like that. That's like my thing, you know what I'm saying?
You're one of the few people who actually went to college and who's using their major. Because I know I went to college, I majored in psychology and biology. I was planning on going to medical school. And, you know, I'm not doing that at all. I took the law route. Would you say that college was a plus for you?
Again, I told you ain't had no focus, you feel me? So I really was there like doing a whole lot of messing around and like just meeting people. I'm hosting events. I was doing stand-up comedy, you know what I'm saying? Like and parties, I'm all that type of stuff, but not really going to class. You feel me? I got to see the dean probably every other semester, like, hey man, you know, let me slide one more time, you know what I'm saying? Don't kick me out just yet. The last time it happened, it was almost like intentional because I was just done with college. Like I didn't want to go to school no more. I just felt like I was wasting my time. And I was DJing more, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a DJ. You know what I mean? And I did that for a couple of years, ended up going back to school.
Yeah.
Going back to TSU, kept my major. And it was straight business when I got there. I was just trying to get the degree. Like I had different life experiences that like changed my view on education. So I took it more serious. I was hella focused and I was just like, man, I'm gonna do what I need to do and get up out of here. Yeah. Went to TSU, kind of like a standout student. So I'm interning now. I might have had like 3 or 4 internships when I was in college. You know what I'm saying? But a couple of ones that stand out. With one in particular is Channel 39 with me at Greg. So I was writing the 5 o'clock newscast. You know what I'm saying? You know, stuff they say, they don't write that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else is writing it for them. So like, did that. And
that was you writing? You were writing them?
I was writing, yeah. And what was crazy that like my first day there, really in the intern thing, when you go there to be an intern, college intern at news stations, like it may take you a couple months before you get one story aired. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I never forget the first day I wrote 5 stories. All 5 stories went up. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah.
Never done that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I ain't, you know. but again, like I said, that shit just always was natural to me. I just never cared for hard news. You feel me? But at that time, my professors was really trying to push me to be like the next Brian Gumble or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You'll be Donald Houston instead.
Like I was saying, trying to make me the next Brian Gumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, whatever. And I graduated college and became a club DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had a degree, graduated with honors, all that, and went to DJing in the club. I didn't use my degree for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? No job. I had a job, but the same job I had, the one job I did have some years back, that was the same job I was working like my last year in college.
Yeah.
So a degree never. Now, to answer your question, this whole time I'm sitting here asking God, like, man, why did I go get in debt for something? You know what I'm saying?
Went back to school.
You know what I'm saying? For what? For nothing. Nobody ever you asked me anything about a degree, about to go play no records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I always had this feeling is like, you don't do anything, you didn't do that for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everything is at some point is gonna come around full circle and you're gonna be like, oh man. Now when, I don't know, but it was just a weird little feeling. I'll be having little weird feelings like this about certain shit, man. And that was one. Just so happened with the podcast thing, when it started working out, I was like, okay, this is the first time that like these skills I learned, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, I'll be talking to people and they'd be like, man, yeah, man, you know, I do a podcast, do the same thing. It's like, now I ain't trying to front on you, bro, but like, I'm a journalist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's code of ethics. There's certain things that come in journalism. There's certain things I ain't never gonna do. You know? There's certain things, even if it's a bit edgy, it's gonna always be within the means of the ethics of journalism. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's when it comes into play. You feel me? Like,
professionalism.
Yeah.
So I want to get more into the business aspect because I want to see people. I want people to actually see what it takes to own your own business. Because a lot of people are just like, man, I'm just gonna own my business. I'm tired of working for these people. I just get my own thing. And we all know that that's just not something that you just pop up and do one day and you're gonna be successful with it. So with that being said, like, how many hours are you putting in, you think, a week? Like, we know people work 40 hours a week, but all together from every aspect of you doing your podcast, how much time do you think you actually put into this?
Man, a week? That's a good, I don't know, but it's a, to me, I tell people all the time, it's like people ask me like, what you do for fun? And I'm like, man, really what I do because work is what, you know what I'm saying? So it's damn near like a lifestyle, bro. Like, it's all the time, man. Even if it's something as simple as me riding and, you know, getting my mind right, you know what I'm saying, and getting in my vibe and just coming up with just fresh ideas, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do that, you know what I'm saying? I be calling the car in my office because I get in the car and just ride and just flush a bunch of shit out, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's time spending on, you know what I'm saying? I wake up in the morning and I'm editing, you know, at least 3 or 4 pieces of content to put on YouTube. That's every day, you know what I'm saying? On top, you know, I might shoot the interviews, then I might, you know, DJ that night. Like last night I DJ, you know what I'm saying? Tuesday was the podcast and we did the freestyle with Flip after that, you know what I'm saying? So that was a long session, you know what I mean? It's around the clock, dog. Like, and I don't trip because it doesn't feel like work. You feel me? So how many hours? I can't really tell you, but it's not, you know, it's around the clock. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't have a cutoff time, or maybe if I'm just like, man, I need some time to myself today, or I'm gonna take some time, you know, intentionally, but for the most part, like, I'm around the clock with it, you know?
See, y'all hear that, man? All you lazy people who talking about y'all want to quit y'all job, man, it ain't no 9 to 5. Like, it ain't no stop thinking about it, man. It's all day, every day. When you're not thinking about it, you feel bad.
Yeah, for sure. If too much time goes by and I'm not doing something, I'm like, man, I'm bum ass nigga. Talking about something, man, you falling off, dog. You falling off.
Man, I was on social the other day and I saw you made a post about like where you came from, bro, how you started with your podcast and like how hard it was and everything you just going through, like what would you say was your biggest obstacle that you faced so far in getting your business to where it is now?
The biggest obstacle? See, I don't know, man. The only thing, like, it's just about being consistent, dog, because it's times, for one, when you start doing this, and this is why so many podcasts start and stop. You know what I mean? When you start doing it, you're not going to have a lot of attention unless you're like a huge celebrity. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to make no money. You know what I'm saying? And in order to gain traction, you got to be consistent with this. So you got to be consistent with something that ain't going to make you no money unless you figure out how to start getting, people. I would have little homies of mine that might sponsor, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, little shit like that. But as far as like the channel and the show for real, actually make me money, nah. You know what I'm saying? So you fight through that. You know what I mean? You fight through shit. Like before, like now I got a team, but for a long time it was just me. And so I'm calling, setting interviews up, everything. I'm setting up the audio equipment, recording the audio. I'm setting up video, recording video, editing the audio, editing the video, doing everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing that. And you get ready to set up all your equipment and whoop and call at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Boys know where to be found. 8 o'clock. Yeah. Feel me? No show, no call, no show, no nothing. You know what I mean? And it'll be people that you might really want to talk to. Yeah. Now you got to balance not being in your feelings about the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Towards them and towards continuing to move on with the show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people also working for yourself. A lot of people underestimate, and this is shit I be preaching to my boys, man. I be telling them, like, I put myself almost, I ain't gonna say put myself through, but life, whatever. I went through like character development, you know what I'm saying? What I call character development over like the last year and a half, you know what I'm saying? Or so, you know what I'm saying? Really the last 9 months to a year of just like getting myself all the way together, bro, because when you work for yourself, it's just you. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything falls on you, bro. So you can't be, getting into with people, you know what I'm saying, in business, and you know what I'm saying, you going off on them and boom, you lose a client. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You gotta have your mental together. You feel me? You gotta be all your stuff together, bro, to handle all the things that come with what you asking for in whatever it is you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If it's something, because I'm sure it's something grand, because we all asking for these great things, right? So you got to be mentally prepared, emotionally prepared, spiritually prepared. You know what I'm saying? Yourself first. You know what I'm saying? To even deal with all of that shit.
It's up here first. You win this battle, and then everything. So I really feel that you talking about how we got to have this right, and then we can be able to fully accept and thrive in that success. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
because it won't always be smooth, dog. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna always be smooth, dog. And like, the further the bigger and further you go, the greater the losses and the greater the whatever's become. You know what I'm saying? The greater the challenges to become, the greater the whatever. So you got to be able to be, just mentally and spiritually and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to grow with the way you know what I'm saying, in the same way you growing and everything else. So
yeah. And so you saying that kind of takes me into like my just like the last question I have really. What would be your advice for somebody who's trying to step into the podcast game or trying to step into, I say podcast, what you doing, but just in the doing your own thing, period. What would be some advice that you would give to them?
This podcast, and I would say for one, like, or anything you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Because this is me, bro. I'm a student of the craft. You know what I'm saying? When I was real hard on that DJing, bro, I watched so much DJ stuff. I filled my mind with so many different mixes from who I consider to be the greatest DJs of all time. You know what I'm saying? Studied them. You feel me? Like real live, and I don't know like how it sounds like class, like I'm sitting down with a notebook. No, but I just myself to intake all this information, intake all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And eventually it poured out of me. You feel me? Like in some form of fashion. You know what I'm saying? So it was the same thing when I went to producing. I listened to so much whatever. I watched so many videos and read so much. You know what I'm saying? Just tried to learn so much. When I went to podcasting, I listened to so many people. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever I thought was the greatest. You know what I mean? Like it really like dug in, and it wasn't even a task because this is what I enjoy doing. I just found myself engulfed in all these things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about like studying the craft. You know what I'm saying? You got to. I don't know if somebody said it was a Michael Jackson quote. I don't know who said the shit, but I've been saying shit. You know what I'm saying? Study the greats. You know what I'm saying? Be greater. You feel me? If you want, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you got to see. It always starts with studying the greats, dog. So that's the first thing, man. On the business side of it, like shit, learn a business. You got to give it somebody. Like I didn't hit you. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta line up with all aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? With everything. Not just, a lot of people just want to create stuff. Oh man, I got a podcast, man. Check us out. And you look it up. Like, bro, I can go to YouTube. There's 7 other podcasts with the same name. You ain't even did the research to see if you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. The basics. You know what I'm saying? Like study the craft, bro. Study what it is you're trying to get into, man. Like that's what I can tell you. And if you do that, everything else will work out.
Man, I appreciate you, Donnie. This was really dope, bro. I think it's really dope content. It's a lot of people out here trying to get into podcasts. A lot of people out here looking up to you. And I know a lot of people out here, it's always people like, especially since we have social media, a lot of people like, man, I want to do it. How can I do that? You know, people always want to, they asking you, oh, how you do it? But they really want to know the shortcut. That's what Gary Vee say. I heard Gary Vee say one time. And so I just want people to know, like, it's not a shortcut. Everything Donnie just was explaining to us, he explained it from his podcast point of view, but I can explain it from a owning a law practice part of view. Me and Rez can talk about classroom concerts. Any point of view of you being Black in business and actually having control, having ownership, you're going to face these obstacles. You're going to have to study and be ready for it all, man. And Donnie, man, I appreciate you for being a student of your craft, man. Thank you for being a professional. I think you mastering your craft, honestly, man, and just keep doing your thing. This has been Classroom Concerts Presents Black in Business. I'm Professor Pete. That's my
A1 Hollywood.
Yeah, and we got the best in the podcast game, Donnie Houston, man. We appreciate you, everything you're doing for the city as well, bro. We really appreciate you for all of that.
I appreciate y'all. For real.
Hey, pop that Classroom Concert Series tape in, man.